Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another session of live content review using technical analysis. The flow for today's session will be similar to the previous ones. I'll go through the economic calendar, then followed by the major indices as well as some of the commodities, then followed by certain sectors, such as the tech sector, banking, as well as semicons. And then I'll go through the individual counters that you all have raised in the Q&A below. So without further ado, let me begin. So for this week, not much big data. So for tomorrow, there's actually some building permits coming out at 8 p.m. Durable good orders that's coming out at 8:30 p.m. Then there's also consumer confidence data at 10 p.m. on Wednesday. That Wednesday, something to take note will be that Powell will be speaking again, and that's at 9:30 p.m. Then also crude oil inventories usual at 10:30 p.m. Then on Thursday, Powell will continue his speech 2:30 p.m. Not sure why is it so early. Okay, but then Thursday we also have GDP data that's coming out 8:30 p.m. Usual jobless claims also at 8:30. Then on Friday the important one will be PCE data. So that's the inflation gauge that the Fed is actually using. So that will be out at 8:30 p.m. Yeah. Then on Friday 9:45 also Chicago PMI and the usual Michigan consumer and inflation expectations that's at 10 p.m. So that rounds up the week for the data. Okay, I'll start with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin last week we managed to there was a breakout of this downtrend channel over here. So the trend has actually changed from more of a downtrend back to sort of a ranging trend over here. So we actually retested this 31,000 swing high over here. So currently we are just consolidating for now. I think for now this week we could see some further consolidation first. So I think for now resistance likely to be between this 31,000 high to about 32,000 to about 32,300 over here, which was like a previous high back in May last year. As for the current support wise, I think currently if it's very strong, you will likely to see this previous resistance over here around 29,700 hold as a support. If it's weaker, then I think we might see deeper pullback to around this level, which is around 28,400. Yeah, so for Bitcoin this week, I think likely to just consolidate some of the gains last week first. Okay, then I'll move on to Dow Jones. Okay, so for Dow Jones, last week we saw a pullback. This was after we reached a resistance around here, around the 34,300, then we had a pullback over here. So for now, I think we could be quite near to some support for Dow Jones. So the first level of support is actually this recent resistance level between around 33,600 to about 33,700. This zone over here we had a breakout, right? Currently looks like we are doing a retest. So by right, theoretically there could be some support that is coming in for Dow Jones at this level. And then also second thing is when you look at this trend line over here, this downward sloping trend line, what we could be seeing is a possible retest over here. So at this level, around the 33,500 to about 33,700, we could be seeing some support coming for Dow Jones. Yeah, so I would expect probably maybe we could do a retest over here, then we could see a little bit of a bounce for Dow Jones this week. Yeah. And for Nasdaq, we also pulled back a little last week, a little bit of a pullback. So for now, I think we're still quite high. When you look at the big picture wise, and look at this uptrend channel, we're still quite high near the resistance over here. That's around 13,700. Yeah. So for now, resistance could be between this 13,700 to about 14,200 level. Then for support wise, I think the more important one, we could see first level of support could be around 13,300. So the 13,300 is this horizontal level that we actually broke out of over here. So upon this, we could see a retest for some support. Then a lower level of support could be around this 13,100, which is the lower end of this range over here. So if you do come to this zone, right, I would expect Nasdaq to get some support and possibly bounce from this recent small pullback over here. Okay, then moving on to S&P. S&P similar price action to Nasdaq. So what we are seeing now is like a possible pullback to retest this 4,300 level breakout over here. So if you do see some support in this zone, I think it will be still very bullish, means that it's just a very technical retest and we bounce off again. So let's see what happens this week. Current support is around 4,260 to about 4,340 over here. Then resistance is this recent highs around 4,440 to maybe about 4,500, which is possibly this uptrend channel resistance over here. Okay, then I'll move on to gold. Something to take note for gold is that looks like there could be a possible breakdown of this trendline support over here. So gold has been rather a little bit weak recently. We have this, it has been consolidating in the range over here between 1940 to about 1985 over here. And last week we saw a breakdown of this horizontal support over here. So looking a bit weak for now gold. I think the support zone is now shifted lower to about 1870 to about 1915. So 1870 was like another lower key horizontal level, previous resistance over here that could act as some support. Then resistance will be the recent resistance we see over here between 1960 to about 1985 over here. Yeah, so for gold wise, just to note, showing a little bit of weakness recently. Okay, then I move on to oil. Okay, oil, nothing much has changed, still in a range bound mode over here. But what I feel for oil is that showing little bit of weakness. So if you look at this, there's a possible downtrend resistance line that it could be respecting over here. So and then recently, right, we see the bounces getting lower highs. So previously when we bounced from the support around 67, we see a bounce up to 74 over here. Then recently we've seen only up to 72. Then we see a lower high being made. Yeah, so that could be some weakness for oil. So something to take note, if we don't hold 67, then we could go lower down to maybe 63, 64 for some lower support over here for oil. Okay, then for VIX wise, still very weak. Just still in a range bound mode over here. So nothing much has changed. I think still in a range, but currently present in a downtrend. For now, support is still the same around 11.4 to about 13.5 over here. Then resistance upwards is at around 16 to about 18 for VIX. Okay, then I move on to copper. And copper had a retest of the resistance around 3.9, showing some rejection down. So for now, could be seeing a possible retest of this 3.75 resistance that we broke out of over here for some support. Yeah, so probably ranging for now for copper. Okay. So now I'll start off with the FANG M. Okay, so first one is Meta. Okay, Meta, if you look at the price action wise, it's actually showing some strength despite when most of the time we see the market actually pulling back last week. So we can see over here, right, what it did last week was actually just range bound. So that's very strong price action in a weak market. So over here, it's still respecting this breakout of 275 over here. You can see over here, it's still holding as a support. And then on Friday, it actually managed to break through this 285 level over here. We actually retest these recent highs, and then we actually closed quite well on Friday. So over here, showing some strength for Meta, I think means that it could continue to trade higher. So the immediate resistance wise could be around let me see, could be around 295 over here. If you do face resistance from this uptrend channel resistance, then another level of resistance could come from if it does retest near the 300 level. So this was like a previous swing low back in December 2021 and also April 2021 over here. So you can see this level near 300 is quite a strong support resistance back then. So it will continue to act as a key level for now. It's also a psychological level. So I expect some continued upside for Meta if the market actually turns around this week, since it actually showed strength last week. Then another stock that actually similar price action wise to Meta would be Apple. So Apple, you can see from the chart why this was from Tuesday. What it did was like a retest of this breakout at 183, found support, and then we retested the recent high at 187 again. So also holding in a range pattern over here for Apple. So it's still very strong. Nothing has changed in the trend, still in the uptrend. So for now, I think if you do break above this 187, target that we could see is around 192 over here. If we do test this channel resistance over here for Apple. Okay, then Amazon. Amazon also one of the stronger tech stock last week. So it was holding up in the range over here. Then we actually saw a breakout of 128 over here. Then close around 129. So it's actually pretty good if you see like a possible range breakout. So this week could see some further upside for Amazon. So the first level could be around 135. So 135 was like a previous this was a previous swing high back in September last year, and then also a range a support from January to April last year as well, which now turned into resistance. So that's one possible resistance, near-term resistance for Amazon. Then something to take note also 135 to 137 here, also this possible channel resistance as well. So possible some resistance over here to be expected for Amazon if it actually punch out this week. Okay, for Netflix, not as fortunate. Netflix showing some weakness. So there was a continuation of the bearish momentum after we saw this evening star reversal pattern over here. So price actually trended lower. Then we also looks like we broke down this short-term uptrend channels over here as well. So showing a little bit of weakness. For Netflix, we could be seeing a possible retest of a support near. Let's see. Could be near 410 over here. So previously that was like a horizontal level, and it's also this recent this range breakout over here. This previous resistance, we could see a retest for some support first for Netflix. Yeah. Okay, then for Google also a big weakness recently. So last week we broke below this very recent support level at 122. Had a breakdown to retest these lows at 119, and then we did bounce back again. So over here, if you're unable to close above this candle, right, means that we're still seeing some resistance back from this support being broken. So I think for Google, we could see a little bit more pullback, possibly if the weakness persists. Then we could maybe retest 117, this uptrend support, this uptrend channel support over here. Yeah, for Google, for a stronger support. And then this 117 level was previously this strong resistance over here. So it could act as a good support if it comes here and we see like a bullish candle. Okay, last but not least will be Microsoft. Okay, so Microsoft also pulling back last week. Then currently we tested this around 334, 335, this previous range resistance. So over here, if for the good thing is that for 3 days, it looks like price actually the buyers are starting to hold up at this level over here. You can see there's no new lows being formed. So for now, looks like it's able to find some support over here. So for this week, if that holds, we should be able to see some sort of a bounce up for Microsoft this week to maybe retest close to about 339, 340 first as a level, then followed by 344, 345 as the next resistance. But if this week you see suddenly got one candle suddenly just break, right, then you know likely to see some further downside to this next support around 324 to 325, yeah, for Microsoft. So overall for tech stock, I think around half of them I would say is still showing some sign of strength. The earlier counters that I shared on, like Meta, Apple, Amazon, and later half is currently like pulling back halfway or near the support as well. So in general, for this year, I would expect Nasdaq to possibly sort of rebound from the recent small pullback based on this big tech price action. Okay. Okay, then I'll go on to some of the banking stocks. So first of all, I start with the ETF XLF. Okay, so for XLF, actually not bad. After the breakout of this triangle, looks like we're seeing a retest over here. Over here, there's some support, previous resistance around the 32.6, 32.7 level. So if price actually able to hold up here, we could see some continuation of the recent upward movement over here to try and retest the recent highs of the resistance around 33.6 over here for this XLF ETF. Okay, then I'll go through the big four banks, the price action wise. Bank of America not really good because can see over here, right, in this stretch, the good thing was that we can see some pickup in the bullish momentum because there's these higher highs being made over here and then higher lows. You can see a nice uptrend, short-term uptrend over here. But then when last week came, when the market showed weakness, right, it broke through this $29 range support over here. And it just smashed through until here. We're still seeing no sign of easing yet, except on Friday there's these doji candles showing some indecision. So we're still not sure whether the downtrend has ended yet for Bank of America. So for this week, what we could see is possibly that if the downtrend continues, it could possibly retest this $27 over here, which is this swing low, coupled with this uptrend support line. Then I think over here there might be some good support for Bank of America. And then resistance wise, I think there could be some resistance from about 28.5 to about 29 for now. Okay, next one is JP Morgan. So for JP Morgan, also pulled back last week, but it happened at a resistance area. So this was around 142, 143. Still, we can see over here still very strong resistance based on a retest of this prior resistance in February. Then over here we still unable to clear. So I think for JP Morgan, likely we still see very big range consolidation over here. So one level of support we could see is possibly at around 137 over here. If this doesn't hold, then we could see it at around 134 as the next level. And so I expect this range to actually continue. Okay, then for Citigroup wise, not very good price action as well. So upon the retest of this downtrend resistance breakout over here, right? Also this higher resistance at around $47, we weren't able to hold on Thursday and we just broke through it. So showing that sellers are actually quite aggressive and stronger. So with that, we could be seeing some downside, maybe further downside for Citigroup. So one first level of support could be around 45.5 over here amid uh so this was like a resistance breakout and this range support previous resistance. So you can see this is a horizontal level to take note. Then another lower support will be closer to 44, this swing lows over here. Yeah. So until now, we still need more time to see what's the next support for Citigroup. Okay, then last one I'll go through is Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo for now also seeing some weakness. This was at a resistance around 42, pulling back currently. So for now, we could see if the pullback continue, we could see some possible support closer to 40 over here, these recent swing lows. If you get deeper, then I think you can take this uptrend support line as a reference over here. Yeah. Okay. Let me see if there's any other financial counters, and then I just go through together. Okay. Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs, I think currently looks a bit like a range bound pattern over here, but actually it looks quite aggressive in terms of the selling. So you can see that actually it's been gapping down every day, and then the selling taking place with also quite normal, higher than average volume. So you can see the sellers are actually quite aggressive. And then one thing to note that upon at 327, this was a prior strong resistance of this range, right? So technically, we could expect some support, but they just broke through. So it's very fierce. Currently, we're at the lower end of the range around here, around 315. This candle still can't tell us whether the support is still there. You can see the selling is still very aggressive. So unless today we see like a engulfing, bullish engulfing, then you can tell that there's some support possibly coming in at this level. So we still need time to determine when the selling will stop for Goldman Sachs. Yeah. So for now, this is possible support, but we need some confirmation based on that. If we do break this level, right, then I think the next support to look at will probably be this 303, 300 to 303, this next swing low over here for Goldman Sachs. Yeah. Okay, next one, I'll go through Morgan Stanley. Morgan Stanley over here also a bit of quite strong selling recently. This previous resistance at 84 couldn't hold as a support, and we went a bit lower. But on Friday, we had this doji candlestick in some indecision between the buyers and sellers starting to come in. We've also increased volume also over here. So if you're able to hold this as a level of the recent lows, then I think we could see some rebound take place for Morgan Stanley over here. Yeah, but however, if we still see lower lows, then likely we are going to test this $81, this lower range support over here. Then for now, current resistance could be this $84 to about $86 over here for Morgan Stanley. Okay, next one I see is also Deutsche Bank. Okay, Deutsche Bank, I think is just a very, very like well-defined range consolidation over here, you can see. So one level take note would be this support around 970. There's a two swing lows generated last time. So over here, we could be able to see some support over here. We see some bullish candle. Yeah, for Deutsche Bank. I think still continuing on from their range trade over here. Yeah, then short-term resistance could be around $10 over here, which is like this support that we didn't manage to hold, and that could become some short-term resistance over here for Deutsche Bank. Okay, there's also, I see a question. If bank stocks are not doing well, XLF may still have room to go down further. Yes. Okay, so I bring out the XLF chart again. So for now is XLF is possibly finding some support based on this retest of this resistance, previous resistance, then there could be some support over here. But of course, if the bank stocks are not doing well, then we still can have further downside, especially when there's also this lower trendline support. So in chart, when looking at charts, there's no definitive things such as like a retest. Then for previous resistance, we are likely to see support. It's just that there's a higher probability. But we still need to observe some of the price action, see how the stock is doing, then we can ascertain whether actually we found some support or resistance. Yeah. So if the banks are not doing well, definitely there's still some possible room for XLF to go down to maybe even 31.8 over here. Okay, then I move on to semicon sector. Okay, for semicon wise, you also pull back over here. Then for now, I think semicon wise, there could be some possible further, a little bit more downside. Maybe we could try and retest this 3,440 level. So this is the SOX, also the Philadelphia Semiconductor Index. So over here, we could retest the recent lows around here. If we go down deeper, then we could possibly retest maybe 3,300 over here, which is this channel support over here. If we see a deeper pullback, then over here, then if we do touch these few levels, then I think semicon stocks might have a chance to do a better rebound going ahead. Okay, then some of the semicon names. First one is NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, you can see in terms of price action wise, probably you can tell that it's still very strong over here. In a weak market, what it did is still maintaining above 419, this swing high that it broke out of recently. So in a weak market, what it did was just a range consolidation over here. So if this week is still able to hold this level, then I think we could see some possible bounce if the market gets better to maybe the recent resistance around 434 to about 439 over here. Yeah, but if this doesn't manage to hold, then we could see it come down lower to maybe around 400 to about 406 over here for NVIDIA. So over here, the bigger picture wise, you can see NVIDIA is actually like it's forming small ranges over here, as it needs to actually, because the price is actually quite high, it needs to consolidate and try to form a range before it breaks another level for now. Also then another one is AMD. Okay, AMD also pulled back quite fierce last week. You can see the strength compared to NVIDIA. Definitely AMD is definitely weaker than NVIDIA. So last week you can see this support at 116 also gave way also over here. And then only until Friday looks like there's a doji candle being formed over here. So for AMD, it currently retested 108 this level. So I would say 108 for now could be quite a better support for AMD, because this was like a previous high back in June last year. And another thing is that when you look at the recent candlesticks in May, this 108 was like a very strong resistance in this range build up before it broke out over here. So over here, we actually retested this previous resistance turn support. So I would expect some form of support to come down at this level also. And then also when you look at the Bollinger Bands, right, what I observe is that it's actually the lows of the Bollinger Band. So over here, we could possibly see some form of rebound if the lower band actually holds. So there could be some support at 108 for AMD. And then short-term resistance-wise, we could possibly see 114 to about 116. So this is based on this downtrend resistance line over here that has been acting on AMD. And then 116 will be this retest of this recent support that could act as a resistance for now. So I would expect AMD to actually do some sort of rebound if this if the lows of Friday actually hold and we see some sort of reversal candle take place over here. Okay. Then for TSM, okay, TSM also pulling back a bit. So over here, currently we see there's this bullish candle coming in, but then next day, over here we still have this some sort of doji indecision. But the good thing is that the low is actually still quite maintained over here. So I think for TSM wise, if able to hold at this level, which is actually near this resistance at previous resistance at 101, then we could see some rebound back to maybe test 105, which is this another key horizontal that was a resistance and then broke down recently. Okay, but however, if this doesn't hold, then we could see some further downside to 97, possibly for TSM as a next support. Okay, then okay, next one, I also see Marvell. You all have put in the chat box. Okay, for Marvell, currently looks like I think there could be some support coming in. Okay, because actually we tested this 57 swing low over here. On Friday, there's actually quite a nice hammer candlestick over here, and also increased volume. So over here, at this key support that people is looking out for, looks like there's some good exchange of hands between those sellers in this stretch and some buyers that's willing to come in at this price to buy the dip. So over here, I would expect if there's some good follow through this week, I expect some bounce for Marvell, possibly to retest 60 to 61 over here. This recent resistance that we broke down off, as well as this trend line resistance over here as well. So possibly like a short-term bounce over here. Okay, another one is Micron. Okay, Micron, we are actually retesting this uptrend support line over here. But however, it looks like still no follow through yet. However, we do see a bullish candlestick coming in today, then should be quite confirmed there's some support coming in at this level over here. Then I think for now, some downside is probably limited because there's also a recent swing low near 64 over here, and then it's quite near the lower Bollinger Band over here. So some support could be expected around this zone over here. Then in this stretch, we could be forming like a range. So if you do bounce from here, then I think price could go up to retest these recent highs around 69 to about 70 over here to retest this resistance. Okay, then I start to go through some of the other tech counters. Let me see. Okay, Sophie. Okay, actually I made a call on Sophie today. So I think it's quite good actually. So currently we are pulling back from $10. Now it's around $8 over here. So we are back into this previous strong resistance over here. Looks like an inverse head and shoulders pattern over here. So look, what we're currently doing now is a retest. And also here you can see actually pull back down to the 20 MA, the mid Bollinger Band support over here. So these two levels of support, right? If you do see some follow through, then I think some bounce could be coming for Sophie in the short term, given that this was such a strong resistance back then. So near term wise, I think first level of resistance we could see is between around possibly at $9 first, around around $9, around 8.90, $9 over here. Then followed by retest, possible retest of this recent swing highs around 10.20 over here for the short term wise. Longer term wise, if the uptrend actually continues over here, right, something a stronger resistance would be closer to about $13 and upwards. So this was like a previous strong resistance back in 2022 over here, and this was like a strong support that actually broke down back then. So this is my take on Sophie. Okay, then on Cloudflare, I think currently Cloudflare looks like it's just range trading for now. You see this pattern wise. So if you do see, currently it looks like it's at a support really around 62 to about $63. If you do see bullish follow through, you could see some form of a bounce for Cloudflare to actually retest some resistance closer to 69 to 71 over here. Yeah. Okay, then Unity. Okay, Unity on Friday, we had this doji candlestick coming in. So if this holds, we could see some bounce coming in, given that this was like a retest of this recent 37.50, this breakout over here. So currently we are doing a retest, so we could see some bounce if there's some follow through happening this week for Unity. And then short term resistance wise could be between, currently is at possibly at $40. The next level is at 42, around 42.50 over here. But if we don't hold this level, we could see maybe some further downside to try and test this lower end of the support, which is around closer to 34.50 possibly for Unity. So short term wise, I would still expect some sort of bounce, given that this is like a first support level, then this is a second support level. Okay, then Palantir is also one that could be reaching some sort of support soon. So Palantir, what it did was it broke through this recent range support around 14.20, but on Friday it actually had a nice close over here. Okay, looking at some of the levels wise, 13.20 could be like this support level take note, given that this was like a swing high. Over here it comes down to this level. If it goes a little bit deeper, then it's also quite near the lower Bollinger support over here. So I will expect some sort of a bounce since it's quite near the support levels over here. Then short-term resistance wise could be expected around close to $15, given that this was like this recent range strong resistance over here. So 15 to about 15.60, this stretch could present some near-term resistance for Palantir. But there could be some buying opportunities if you actually since it's actually near the support zone over here. Okay, then let me see got what else. Can I also see PayPal? Okay, PayPal I think is starting to pick up a little bit. So over here, after this recent very big range breakdown, and over here, then there was like a lower low being made, while actually there's some bullish divergence taking place, higher lows on the indicator, and started to actually reverse back after it hit the support zone between around close to 60 to about 61. And then we've seen quite a good price action recently. So upon the breakout of this 63, then there was a positive retest and you went higher again. So for now, it's like it's just pulling back a little bit. So, but we'll expect some support around these levels. This recent resistance is around $65. I expect that could be some good support for it to bounce again. Yeah, then if that continues, then should be able to see this recent stretch of uptrend continue. To try and maybe retest this strong support that we actually broke down. So this is at around $71. Yeah, so something to take note this week will be whether we see some support around 65. Then if it comes in, likely we see this stretch of bounce continue for PayPal. Okay, another one is C Limited. Okay, C Limited currently looking good. So as in currently we are looking like a retest of this support around 58 over here. So there was a swing low created around here, bounce, and then currently looks like a retest. In terms of the indicator wise, okay, as long if we can hold the MACD, if we can able to hold without another negative crossover, right? Then I think we could see a bounce coming in for C Limited. Try and maybe do like a double bottom formation possibly. Yeah, so something to take note is that possibly see whether this low is able to hold for some for support. Okay, then also C3AI. Okay, C3 looking a bit bearish recently. So after there was like a false breakout over here, then we actually just been crashing down, breaking a level of possible support at 38, 39, this resistance breakout. We just broke through it, and then also didn't manage to hold at this 3470 level. So this was like a previous high. Then this was like a resistance breakout. So we actually closed quite bearish on Friday. So for C3, I think there could be some further bearish downside possibly for this stock. Maybe we could try and retest this next possible support around $30.70 over here at some swing low. And look at the Bollinger Band wise, I think if you're looking to take a long position, maybe you wait to see it come nearer to the lower band over here and this possible support. Then possibly we wait for some form of confirmation first. Then I think if that happens, then I think the stock could possibly rebound. But over here wise, still looking quite bearish in this stretch. Okay, then let me see what other counters that you all have. IHF. Okay, this is iShares US Healthcare Providers ETF. Okay, so for this, uh, looks it looks over here, it looks like it's trying to sustain this higher low at around 247 compared to this when this double bottom at 240 over here. So as long as this is sustained, I think there could be possible to test maybe a resistance at this 256 level, these swing highs as well as this downtrend resistance line formation over here. Yeah. So still looking good for now. Given that you look at the recent price action wise, there's bullish some bullish engulfing over here, then it actually has a follow through over here. So still quite positive to possibly reach this resistance at these levels. Okay, next one, United Health. Okay, United Health wise, still quite bearish. So there was a very big range, and then we actually broke down over here. Recently we had retest of this level on Friday. Then we actually closed with this follow through price action over here. So looks like some bearishness is still coming in at this level. So possibly we could see a little bit of a pullback, short-term pullback for United Health. So immediate support wise, I think could be around possibly closer to 460 for this recent breakout level, which is also a previous string low support over here. Then we see whether you're able to form a higher low. Then you see how whether you're able to attempt this resistance again. But over here, still looking a bit bearish for United Health. Okay, then VHT, next one, Vanguard Health ETF. Okay, Vanguard Health, this one looking like a possible successful reversal over here. So looking at the range wise, over here this was like a breakdown, and then over here it managed to recover above. Then upon the retest, looks like it's supported at 242. So I think with that, looks like it's able to hold this reversal upwards. We could try to go on and test this resistance again at around 248 to about 250. This stretch of resistance possibly for this VHT ETF. Okay, then for MasterCard, things still looks like a very range formation over here. See whether we're able to break this 380, this resistance over here, then we're able to see more upside. Yeah, but for now it's still holding quite well as a range, I would say. So if we break 380, the next short-term resistance could be around 387, then followed by 390 over here. It is similar to for Visa as well. Also holding up in the range in this stretch. But the good thing is that something good to see is that actually higher lows are being formed over here. Yeah, so I think there's still a good chance that we could break this 229 resistance, possibly we test 234, 235 over here. It's the next resistance level for Visa near term. Okay, American Express, next one. Okay, American Express looks like a retest of this resistance around 164, 165. Then some nice price action wise in terms of a hammer, then we have this bullish candlestick. So if you were to break above this high over here, these two, the high of these two candlesticks around the same. So then that will confirm some support over here. Then we'll expect price to actually go back to test 172 to 176 over here. Then next one is Raytheon. Okay, Raytheon, I think currently looking like a retest of this swing low at 96 over here. And this happens to be like a previous resistance over here. So I expect some support. And then another thing is that this also coincides with the 20 MA support. So over here still doji, some indecision. We must see whether there's some follow through bullish candle to confirm the support over here. Then in that case, we test possibly we test 99 to about 100 over here. But if we don't, then possibly could continue down to make a lower low to maybe test the next support around 94.4 over here. It's the next level. Okay, then GE still nothing much has changed, still like a range, still like a range pattern over here. But recently looks like we reached a little bit of this 104 level, and then see whether we can recover back above today. If not, if it hangs around here, be under this 104 for a few more days, right? Then without recovering back above, we could maybe see it go retest this 101 resistance, this previous resistance over here. But overall, over here in this picture, you can still see it's very range formation. So likelihood wise, the resistance will be around 106 or 108 over here. Okay, then GE Healthcare. Okay, GE Healthcare, I think possibly in a range, but looking not bad, still higher lows being formed along the way. Yeah. So still possibly go and retest this 83 swing high again for GE Healthcare in this stretch. Could be a possible ascending triangle over here if it drags on, yeah, for GE Healthcare. So I will expect still looking bullish, but still it looks like in some consolidation phase for now. The next one, Home Depot. Okay, Home Depot currently consolidating near the resistance around 300 over here. Possible this is actually looking a bit bullish. So reason being that previously when we tested at the resistance, it came down quite fast. Currently it's hanging around here for a very long time. And then also this recent resistance of 295 is still holding as a support. So that's another good sign as well. So some strength is actually just storing, it's just storing some power possibly over here. If we do see a breakout above 305, then I think there's some continuation of the bullish momentum. Try and test maybe test around 319 next possibly as a next resistance. Yeah, so let's see how it goes. Currently still like range consolidation, but still looking good. And as long as this range support still holds over here. Okay, Walmart also looking good. This previous resistance is still holding as a support around 154, and then these two candlesticks we have a nice follow through over here. So as long as this low still able to hold, I think it's still looking pretty okay. Should be able to retest this 158 short-term swing high as a short-term resistance. Yeah. And then yeah, still looks okay. Okay, for Costco, still this one also looking okay. So 510 this resistance breakout is still holding. And recent price action wise, you can see over here 5185 518 this resistance breakout, and there was a retest over here, still holding with these candlesticks over here. So if that, I would expect the recent bullish trend to actually continue to try and retest the recent high around 530 over here for Costco. Okay. Sorry, Joe, I see you have a long list of questions over here. Some of them Hong Kong counters. Okay, I will try to go through them near the end if if actually time permits. Okay, some other questions. Okay, some crypto counters. Uh, since crypto was hot last week. So for Marathon Digital Mara, we have retest of these 1280 swing highs. But there was some nice follow through candlestick on Friday with this green candle over here. So with that, I think still able to monitor for some possible bullish continuation for Marathon. And then there was a very long period of a range consolidation over here as well. So if we were to break out of this high, I think we could be able to see, try to test maybe 1440 to about 1520 over here for Marathon and some next level of resistance. Okay, then for Riot wise, it's not as strong as Mara. Um, so last week it just bounced a little bit and it still haven't managed to reach this swing high resistance at around 1270. So for now, it's still a bit weaker. Uh, if it's able to break out of these the highs of these three candlesticks, then we should be able to see try to test this resistance over here for the short term. But if not, I think we could be going try to consolidate a bit or try to maybe retest this support around $10 over here again for Riot. Yeah, given that it's still in a very big range pattern over here. Okay, for Bit Digital, still very strong over here, BT. It looks like also currently quite a bit starting to get overextended because it's trading outside of this uptrend channel over here. And something to take note, it's still high volume over here on Friday. So we must be able to sustain this. If not, there could be some profit taking for BTBT in this process, given that actually we test this, retest a swing high over here previously. So if the bullish momentum continues, uh the next resistance to possibly look at is possibly around 510 to about 530 over here. The next swing high for BTBT. And next one is a Hive blockchain. Okay, so for this one, still looking like a range consolidation over here, but still nice closing on Friday. So if we were to see a follow through of a breakout, then I think we could see continuation of the momentum to maybe retest test the next resistance, possibly at 510 over here for Hive blockchain. Okay, next one is Block. Okay, for Block, think currently could be trying to consolidate for now, but looks like there's a possible, in this process, looks like there's a possible reversal in trend in terms of there's a downtrend over here, and then we had um, a bottoming out process, and then we actually broke through this resistance at 61. Currently doing a possible retest over here. So I expect support over here to hold. Given there's a recent retest of this resistance, then we should be able to see price slowly try to retest these 67 recent swing highs over again for Block. Yeah, but in this stretch, possibly still see some form of consolidation for now. And next one is Baidu. Okay, Baidu for now, pulling back a little bit, but I think we could be seeing some possible support soon as we are near the middle band of the Bollinger. So this is around 135 currently. And then looking at the previous recent resistance is also around 134 to 135 area. So there could be some confluence of support coming in for Baidu in the process over here. So I think we should be able to find some support soon if we do a retest and we have a bullish candle coming in over here. Okay, next one, Coke. Okay, Coke, I think currently could be meeting some resistance at 62 given previous support. Support looks like currently a retest. So for now, could be seeing a little bit of a downside. Given okay, this is also at the upper band for now. So I think for now could see a little bit of a pullback to possibly retest this some support for around 60.5, 60.6 over here. These swing highs. Also possibly some support coming in around the 20 MA support, which is also a mid Bollinger also here possibly. Okay, next one, Kellogg. Kellogg looking a bit weak for now. This recent support around 66 wasn't able to hold, and then you can see price actually just drifting lower over here in this stretch with lower highs in the process. So I think we could be seeing maybe a retest of these lows around these 63, 64 levels if the trend actually continues for Kellogg. So looking a bit bearish in this stretch for now. Okay, next one, Mondelez International. Nonetheless, I think currently consolidating in the range, but we need to see the support still at 71. This support is still able to hold, then it's still looking okay. If not, if this breaks, right, that means there's a pretty confirmed that this is a bearish reversal downwards. Given this, if there's a range breakdown, for now it's still okay. But I think we still continue to ping in this range over here. Resistance around 74.5, then support is around 72 over here. Okay. And some other ones is PDD. And PDD, I think currently looks like there's some continuation of some bearish momentum. It failed to hold at this upon the retest of this downtrend resistance line retest at 72. Also it failed to hold at the 20 MA support. So we could be seeing a little bit of some further downside. I think to possibly you can see maybe when lower band catches up. And also it's also broke this recent resistance around 71.5 over here. So the next level of support could be nearer to 66 to 67, this level. Then we could see some support coming in for PED possibly. Okay, Walt Disney currently looks like a retest of the recent lows. Okay. Possibly just range trading for now if this is able to hold. So for now, we still need some confirmation whether this able to hold as a support at the $87 level over here. If this doesn't hold, then the next support level to look at possibly is at closer to $84 over here. Okay, AstraZeneca, I think currently the big picture wise is still look bullish as it's still standing above this resistance of $71. Currently it's just building a range over here. So I think for now there's a chance that we could go on to retest this $71 support again. See whether there's some support coming in, then we could maybe continue this range between 71 to 75 over here for now. And then for WPM Wheaton Precious Metals, I think for now looking a bit bearish. So this around the $46 we weren't able to hold, and then price just making new lows along the way. So currently is sitting near a possible next support level at 42 over here. So over here we see whether price is able to hold, then short-term resistance wise will be around 44 over here, then followed by 45 to about 46. Okay, if it doesn't hold, then likely you see continuation of the bearish momentum. Possibly you test the next support is around 40 possibly. Yeah, then followed by 38. Okay, TXM. Okay, Texas Instruments. Okay, I think for Texas, we could be trading in a big range over here in this box. So with that recent, looks like for now the recent swing low at 169 is still unable to hold. Some selling accompanied with the increased volume on Friday. Possibly some further downside. Maybe we test this next swing low close to 164 first. Yeah, as a next possible support. If these are still doesn't hold, then likely to come down to 159, this range support over here. But over the midterm, I think we're still in the range, this big range over here for Texas. Okay, I see the question. There's some. Could you share some for Singapore market? I will focus on the US counters first. If you're able to finish them. Singapore one usually I'll cover on Monday, 11 a.m. session to about 1 p.m. Yeah, so if you're interested, you can just drop some questions for Singapore market during that time. Okay, there's a question. What's your views in reading the chart together with other indicators, MFI, RSI to provide better clarity? Okay, usually my style is that I'll focus on the price action first, like the most obvious support resistance levels. For example, like when I read this Texas Instruments chart, I'll see whether currently is in this stretch of uptrend over here. As you can see, higher highs and then higher lows being formed. But one thing that I want to see is that whether these lows is able to hold. Then one thing is that after we see it looks like a possible breakdown, then I'll possibly use other after looking at the price action wise, then I'll look at other indicators to confirm. Okay, MACD wise, recently there's a bearish crossover. Then it tells me that further confirm that some bearish momentum is coming in at these levels. Then I'll look at Bollinger Band support. Yeah, if it's a lower band, then let's see whether you're able to hold at this price. Then if it can't, then looks like there will be some further downside to come. Yeah, so that's how I look at some of the reading the chart with some of the indicators. So I think most importantly still to focus on like the price action wise, because when you look at indicators, they are all lagging. Then they're just to help to support in reading the chart, to provide some form of confidence and like to make your viewpoint stronger. Then there's a question by Wenjie, why some of you refer to Bollinger Band and others you don't? Okay, I think if I can possibly decipher the trend from price action wise, then I think I won't refer to some of the other indicators. But if I need some confirmation, then I'll look at the Bollinger Bands. Yeah. And also in a time constraint, this 1 hour 15 minutes, I think I'll try my best to just read off from price action since there's many counters. Yeah, but if during my if I'm free, then I'll just try to read off as many indicators as I can. Okay, so for next one, Teva currently seeing some support around 7.2. This support over here. Then I think for now could be seeing some form of rebound to try and test $8 possibly over here, which is like the strong resistance now, given that this support that we actually broke down off recently. Then something that note, there's also this downtrend resistance line also possibly acting as a resistance also. Okay, next one, Twilio. Twilio currently just consolidating the range for now. This recent resistance at 64 is still holding. Looking now is still holding as a support in this range. So if it holds, then I will expect price to actually rebound to 68, 69 over here, this resistance again. Given that over here in this stretch, still quite bullish. then just some form of consolidation as like a possible bull flag in the process for now. Next one, Melco. Okay, for Melco price, I think currently still seeing quite a not bad reversal over here in this stretch. So over here, this you can see resistance are still being broken above, and then this range resistance around 12.3 over here is still holding as a support. So with that, if price is able to hold these levels, I think we could see some further upside to try and retest the recent highs around 130.2 again for Melco, then possibly push further up. Yeah, the next reason could be around 13.7, then followed by 14.1, 40.2 over here. Okay, sorry, in view of time, I just only have time for maybe one more counter. I'll go through Adobe. Okay, so for Adobe wise, you can see in this stretch is still very strong. Currently looks like a bit of a consolidation taking place, but during last week, during the pullback, upon the retest of this swing low around 472, 473, right? And see, it's still holding up pretty well with these two candlesticks. So I think with that, should be able to see some form of a rebound to try and test some form of the first level of resistance again at 490, then followed by this recent swing high, possibly around close to 518 for Adobe. Yeah, so I think uptrend wise it's still going pretty well. Okay, sorry if I don't have the time to answer the rest of the question in chat box. I appreciate you all for leaving your questions in the chat. So I'll look through some of them, some of your feedback, and take it into consideration when I host in my next session. You all can drop some of your comments in the survey also. So let me just share the link in the survey. Sorry, the survey in the chat box below. Okay, so I'll just send the link in the chat. If you all have any comments or feedback on how to improve your experience in this webinar, can help to fill out the survey and leave your comments. Then I'll try to accommodate to everyone's requests as much as possible to make it a meaningful session for all of you all. And also feel free to join our Foreign Street community on technical analysis over here in this link if you haven't downloaded. So if you join it, then you can just leave any questions on TA over there if you're interested. If you have any questions, then you don't have to wait until every Monday to ask during the webinar, so you can get a faster response from me. So that's all for today. Thank you everyone for attending the live this week. Next Monday, I'll be away, so there won't be a live session. The next session will be on 10th of July. So that's 2 weeks later. Yeah. So thank you everyone. Have a good night. And stay safe and have some good luck for your trading this week. Yeah. Take care everyone. Bye bye.